Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to vinnytortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at vinnytortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that band shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, halter tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsrocks.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for special offers and custom orders. Use the code IZZY25 for 25% off of your entire order at sasspantsrocks.com. That's sasspantsrocks.com. Let Sass Pants make you the envy of the party.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
So you're bored, are ya? I've come here to break your monotony. Let me have my piece, because I'm shooting with this one, folks. I don't care, man.
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? Why? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
Body touch.
God, you're an asshole, man.
I've never heard of Van Halen.
Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. Rolling one-on-one tonight. Get to Rayen in just a second. He was on the last Kiss Drunken Summit that we did. A very, very good show. Go back and watch that one on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That's right. You can watch all the debauchery, and you'll be able to watch this one as well. So that is awesome. Make sure you hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley, all the best support, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and of course the show pages and other podcasts. You can donate to the show, izzypresley at yahoo.com. And just announced today, as you are watching this, and Lori is already in the chat room from Australia, he already bought one of the gimmicks. The brand new jersey tees are available, and it's the retro lettering. They're only $30 plus shipping, $35 for the extra large. But we also have more than just that available. We have these packages that I have, and this is what Lori got. So thank you, Lori. The shirt, the Roadie pack, which is also, it includes a lighter, a flask, a dog tag, and a tumbler, all with the Another Effing Podcast classic logo on it, and it will be personalized with your name on it as well. That also includes a signed photo. And then there is the shirt Roadie pack photo and a Zoom call for $100. And you can get everything you just heard and an appearance on an upcoming Drunken Summit. That's right. You can be part as one of the fans of a Drunken Summit. You get everything I just listed for $200, and you get to be on the show on one of these Drunken Summits. That's all. Actually, yeah, that's all prices, including shipping in the continental United States. Or if you're outside of the U.S., shipping will be more. Obviously, Roadie packs are being shipped separately, and it's all payable via PayPal. izzypresley@yahoo.com. All right, bringing in on the Michael Brandvold Zoom line. If you are in a band, you need help marketing, you need help with all of that stuff, radio placement, all of that stuff, hit up michaelbrandvold.com. He is great at what he does. He learned by working with KISS. That's right. He works with Ron Keel. He's worked with Accept. The list goes on and on. Jason Becker, hit him up. Michael Brandvold Marketing. And if you're a KISS geek, you know him well as one of the hosts of Three Sides of the Coin. Now, Rayen Belchere from Early Ray is coming back. And I just saw that Ric Flair strap behind you. It makes me kind of want to go get mine, even though if you're watching on the YouTube later, behind me, you can see that classic Shawn Michaels pose from Playgirl with the belt covering his giblets. So, Rayen, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you.
Are we live?
We are live.
Are we going, Izzy? Are we good?
We're going, baby.
Woo!
We are
How you
going.
doing?
Man, I'm
I love
good.
it.
Man.
I love it.
Cheers, by the way. I know it's not a Drunken Summit, but fuck it. Do a shot. Hell yeah.
Cheers. So speaking of Three Sides of the Coin, I listened to the episode with Stevie earlier, and they asked your Minnesota football question.
Yes,
so
yes.
Are you a Vikings fan?
Of course I am.
Man, right on.
Of course I am. I'm from Minnesota. I mean, what do you expect?
Not everybody likes punishment like that, though. So, sometimes
I know,
people
dude. It is so hard. Dude, it's so hard being a Vikings fan. It's like, they always talk about the Browns being jinxed and the Lions being jinxed and all this stuff. You want to talk about the Vikings getting so close. It's like being a Vikings fan is like getting a chance with the hottest woman you've ever seen, and just when you're about to plow her, it's over. It's done. That's what it's like being a Vikings fan. I mean, we're talking wide left in 98. We're talking cheeses, Brett Favre throwing across his body in 2009. Darren Nelson dropping the ball in the fucking goal line in 1988.
Yep.
Then you got the 4 Super Bowl. It's just, it sucks.
So can I be that whiny fan and give you some sympathy while I create some for my own? I'm a Panthers fan, and I think we have something similar. I think you and I both should have a trophy in our cabinets if it weren't for the headhunting of the Saints and the headhunting of the Denver Broncos during both of those Super Bowls of both of those quarterbacks. Or not Super Bowls, championship for you, Super Bowl for us.
Yep.
We'd have a trophy in the case. Dirty football, play right, guys. But I think I when I was a kid, I dug the Minnesota logo. I dug the purple and the whole Prince thing. In my head, I created all that. And I'm like, Prince must like Minnesota, so that's cool. I had no idea, but
yeah, right.
But you remember when you could put a quarter in the machine and collect the helmets?
Yep, absolutely.
Minnesota was the hardest one to get. So
really?
Yeah, down here anyway. But I don't want to bore you with my stupid football logic, but being a Minnesota fan is much like being a Panthers fan, I feel.
Yeah, but we have more years of despair.
That you do. When's like not talking shit, but how long has it been since Minnesota have you guys ever won a championship?
No. And trust me, Packer fan doesn't let us forget it. That's
now I get Stevie's answer.
That's their go-to. It's like, yeah, well, let's look at your trophy case. There's nothing in it. It's all Packer fan has. That's because Packer fan, excluding Stevie, is usually too drunk to think of something new and original.
Well, his answer on the podcast makes sense now.
I haven't listened to it yet, but if you guys are wondering, we called. Of course, we hated Favre. I mean, we hated Favre all those years because he was a Packer and he was so good. And he was fucking Brett Favre. All of a sudden he goes to the Vikings and we started calling him cheeses.
Oh, that's cheeses. Dude, Incredible.
Right.
See, and that's what makes all the little teams and their little subculture stuff cool. You know, whenever I've traveled, I try to go to away games of any team that I could go to just to kind of check it out. But Minnesota is definitely one of the teams. You guys are always like right there, just like the Panthers. So
I know. Here, I'm going to put up different wrestling behind me.
Who is that? Is that Punk?
Yeah, CM Punk during the pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk wrestling. I love doing this shit. I mean, it's totally off topic, and yeah, we can talk about your story all along, like you've been doing on every fucking podcast, you know, this side of fucking mankind. So people kind of know the story. We're gonna get into it a little bit, but
all good.
You're a Southern boy. What was your wrestling inflection as a kid?
Well, for those old timers that might remember a thing called Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yep.
Which NWA, the Four Horsemen behind me, Dusty Rhodes, the Russians, Rock and Roll Express, Lex Luger. The lineup was the strongest pure lineup of wrestling. And their base was about 20 minutes up the road from me in Charlotte. And they would run house shows just to keep those guys going. Yep. And we were a town they would go to every single Sunday. They would send a crop of guys. Wow. I don't know if it was the A guys or B guys or three. But for $3.50, you could get an upper level ticket and watch wrestling. So I would go 2 or 3 times a month. Became obsessed with the whole Four Horsemen storyline, and just became so locked into Ric Flair. I hated him as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, he's the man, you know. And love Dusty Rhodes. I love all the rivalries, and then you remember the scaffold match where the Midnight Express and the Rock Roll Express was fighting on the scaffold.
Oh yeah.
To an 8-year-old, that's nearly traumatic. I'm telling you, it's like you're like, what the fuck happening? He's gonna kill him, you know. New Jack would have.
Let me tell you something, baby. When you're up on the scaffolding there, baby. I see. You can say it was the best lineup, but I can actually argue that with the lineup that the AWA had. You're talking Hogan, where Hogan became Hogan. Oh, look at that, baby. The main event. Ric Flair. You got Hogan. You got Bockwinkel. You got Bobby the Brain Heenan. You got Jesse the Body Ventura, Adrian Adonis, Jerry Blackwell, who I have stopped while driving through Stone Mountain, Georgia, to pour one out for Jerry Blackwell. You had Sheik Adnan El Casey. You had Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Ken
Yeah, the Freebirds. Yeah.
We had the Freebirds. Yeah, we had the Freebirds for a little while. Andre was there every year because Andre, he was that special attraction that went to every fucking promotion. That's where Flair got to start. That's what Dusty Rhodes got to start, baby.
I can't argue that.
And we had the Crusher.
The Crusher. Hey, you have made the argument. When somebody argues your point, it's like, my favorite's Ric Flair, but the other night you told me your favorite probably is Stone Cold. I can't argue that.
I know.
He's arguably, so you just presented an argument. I can't argue that was not a better lineup of wrestling. But you got to admit that Jim Crockett era was pretty strong.
Dude, it was like the AWA and that Crockett era. Wow. It's like, to me, those are the two biggest. The WWF is one thing, but they didn't have. Look where they got all their fucking talent. When Vince Jr. took over, they got it from the AWA.
They did. Was the original Sheik in the AWA too?
Yes, I believe he was. But then we also had we had the original Sheik. Well, we had the Iron Sheik. We had Sheik Adnan El Casey.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. God, who else was in there?
You had the Rockers, right, for a while?
Yeah, we had the Rockers. That's where Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty got their fucking their big push. We had Kurt Hennig. We had Scott Hall.
You had what was Buddy Landell, right? Didn't you have Buddy Landell for a while in AWA?
Yeah. But we also had the greatest jobber of all time, Jake the Milkman Milliman.
I got to see Jake the Milkman Milliman.
He looks like. Do you still watch it today?
The AWA stuff?
No. Do you watch the new stuff? All right. So, but yeah, well, one, it's so hard with no fucking crowd and, but you know what Vince has done to the business and whatever. But WWE, they have this fat guy, and I can't remember his name, but he's got a beard, and he ended up with the really super hot chick, even though he's like this weird, shy fat guy. He looks like the offspring of Jake the Milkman Milliman. That's what Jake the Milkman Milliman looked like.
Did you ever see the promo cut by a guy named Motley Crue with a
No, that's a terrible gimmick.
I promise you, I'm gonna make your week when we hang up. I'm gonna send you a link. If you want to see the funniest promo of all time, we used to watch this guy on our tour bus over and over and over again because Motley Crue. If you could watch it live, get a reaction of Motley Crue from Izzy Presley. It's got to be a minute maybe.
Oh God, I'll love it. I'll fucking love it. Let's get into you a little bit because we can talk this shit all fucking day long. So you were you born in North Carolina?
I was born in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Just south of Charlotte. I'm on the state line.
Okay.
Yeah, right on the state line.
All right. How early did you get into music? What was it that turned you? Was it like, is it the classic Kiss story? Once I saw Kiss, I knew that's what I had to do.
I literally could not walk. I could crawl, and I remember it being a Sunday, and my family was occupied having family dinner, and I crawled into my brother's room, and I crawled up to his Kiss Alive record, and thought, what? It's one of my earliest memories in life. I was like, what is this? It's like, these aren't cartoons. What is this? And then I would point to it. My brother would play the records. And as I got older, I would listen to them. And you know what? Kiss is the gateway drug to our generation rock and roll. That's what I think.
Absolutely. And that's when you just said, fuck it, I'm going to play. Well, when you got old enough. How old were you when you said, well, fuck it, I got to play guitar. I have to be like this.
This is going to sound really cliche and dumb, but I wrote a song when I was in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
Called The Power Line Went Crazy This Time. And I was trying to make it sound like, I want to say a sweet song or something, because my brother had some sweet records. And I just, it was one of those things, I never had a plan B. And then when I went to my first show, which was more opening for Poison on the Flesh and Blood tour, my brother took me when I was like 12. That's the moment I'm like, screw it all. That's me. I already had a good feeling about this stuff. I've been into this stuff, but that's me. Yeah.
Yep. Again, hit the chat room here really quick. We've got J-Ron checking in. Says Browns are in your underwear. Okay, that's pretty good. So he goes, sympathy for the Broncos, Pats, Saints, Sad Hawks. You know the rest. Sympathy for the Pats. Are you kidding me? I'm never going to see that kind of run again. Laurie Nickel checking in from Australia saying, does Ray Pinkle play for the Vikings? Fucker. Oh, my God. Scotty and Bruce checking in from Canada. They get the take off. And Bruce says, don't forget Canada's contribution, Stampede Wrestling, the Hearts, Davey Boy Smith, etc. Well, I mean, Christ. We can go down this rabbit hole all fucking night long.
Well,
and please do.
Well, just to give that guy credit, I don't know anybody who went through the Heart Dungeon legitimately who did not come out a badass. So
right.
Props to Canada and their wrestling. Stu Hart apparently would hurt you if you did not do the right stuff. So nothing but respect, because they're some of the best wrestling talents. You know, people don't want to talk about Benoit, but I will. He's one of the best. You know, at just technical wrestlers.
Yeah, it was.
He studied in the dungeon.
Yeah, it's like.
No, I was saying he studied in the dungeon.
Yeah, and Benoit. I mean, as sad as that story is, the ending of it, that his wrestling story is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Crazy. You know, the talent, he was the total package. He just wasn't huge, but that didn't matter. You know, that had nothing to do with, but if he was just that good.
Yeah. I mean, separate the art from the artist. The guy, he was as solid of a wrestler, and he studied at the dungeon. There's a lot of guys I used to follow legitimately. I'd read the Wrestling Monthly, and it'd be like blah 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 out of Stu Hart camp in Canada. I'm like, dude, that guy's gonna be a badass, and he always was, always. So props to Canada Wrestling too. Cheers.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll do a shot to that. All right.
Why not?
Not a drunken summer, but that doesn't mean I can't do shots of Jack Daniels. So, how early was your first band?
The first band I tried to put together when I was, I'd say, 8th grade, 9th grade, and it was one of those bands where I was super into it, and the rest of the guys didn't even know how to play, but they wanted to tell the girls they were in a band. And so I would legitimately try to learn songs, and that's kind of was the gateway to, I actually had kind of a band that could play out when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Was my first band. So
wow.
16 years old, the typical old school story before social media and before people got so upset about everything, the bar owners would sneak me in the back door, let me do the gig, and they'd let me go home because the band, we would draw people. We weren't selling out arenas, but we could pack a little club in our downtown. So.
Yeah. So you got that taste. I mean, describe what that feeling is. Can you describe what that feeling is for the listeners that have never been on stage, have never felt that sold out club, that packed club, that packed the biggest house that you ever played, the biggest crowd you've ever been in front of? Is there a way to put that into words?
Well, no, I would tell you this. When I got, not trying to Pulp Fiction you and jump around too much, but
yeah.
When I played bass for Wednesday 13 band for a while in his first run. He was on Roadrunner Records, and that's me right here. But we played some pretty big arena shows, opening slots, and I'm telling you, being on the other side of those arena lights cut down, I haven't done it a lot, but I tell you what, I wouldn't trade that feeling for it. It's indescribable, really. Even when you're a kid, going back to your point, playing for a small crowd of 200 people just there to hear you rock. Mm-hmm. And I'm up there. We're up there when I was 16 doing Enough and Megadeth covers because half the band. You remember the days where everybody got to pick their 2 songs and the whole band would learn them.
Yep.
That sort of thing. So I was always the glam rock guy. So we go from Enough, Poison into Megadeth and Metallica, and my other guy would be into Pantera or whatever, But even back then, it was life changing. Like it's just like this. Okay, the first time I probably played, I would say I played for a packed room that were there to hear you play. It was life changing, and I haven't done anything since. So clearly, I liked it. It's been 30 years almost. So.
It's just one of those things. Just once, actually, I have done it once, but it wasn't like on an arena level. It was on the pool stage at the Monsters Rock Cruise. I went up and jammed with the Rock and Roll Residency, and to plug into that fucking Marshall stack, on the pool deck where it's all amped, and I just can't imagine that feeling of getting on like that AC/DC stage and just hitting an A chord, running through that fucking wall. Could you? Just once. It doesn't have to be AC/DC. It can be Van Halen. I don't care.
Dude, when we in 2005, we did a whole festival run with like Iron Maiden, Slayer, Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, just everywhere, Donington, Rock am Ring, Rock am Park. Well, the buses would hang out, and the guys would all go to after parties. So when the headliner was about to go on, like Iron Maiden, I'd go be a fly on the wall just to witness that roar. Not for me, but just to be there and to hear it from that side. That's how impactful it is. It's just like a crazy drug. Like, can't get enough of it.
Did you get a chance to see that Garth Brooks documentary they had on A&E?
Which one?
It was like 4 parts or something like that, or 3 parts. I can't remember. It was just. Did he? Yeah. The one, the thing that.
Did he cry a lot?
Oh, well, it's Garth, of course. I mean, Garth, you can say hi to him when he starts fucking. How he's not like one of the best actors in Hollywood is fucking beyond me, because he's just got that he could just turn on that sentimental vibe, you know, and turn and look, and you see him tear up, and it's like you don't know if it's real or not, but it's a damn good show. But there's that story in there where he was playing the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and this gal that worked there came up to him and she goes, "What's it like?" She's like 15 or something like that. She just goes, "What's it like? What's it like to hear that? What's it?" Because she's a big girl and probably doesn't have a lot of friends, yada yada. She's like, "What's it like to get all that admiration?" He goes, "Let me show you." And he literally, and this is, it almost makes me tear up because it's such a great fucking story. He brought her up and he let her sit on stage, like in the middle of the stage, while he did like 2 songs, and he got the crowd chanting her name. And I'm sorry, it's just
wow, dude.
It's just shit like that. It's shit like that, and
I get it.
I don't care. You can
It's
say
powerful.
anything you want about fucking Garth Brooks, man. You show me Motley Crue doing that, ain't fucking happening. You know what I mean? It's just
I fully admit to stealing half of his early club tour stage show with the early Ray Band, with the Chris Ledoux era of the Garth Brooks. I'm a Garth Brooks mark. He could cry and be as silly as he wants, but tell me a better country song than "To Dance." And I know he didn't write it, but dude, he brought that song to life. So I'm a big fan. And Garth, a lot of people don't know this, I've heard from quite a few reliable sources, is an 80s rock metal head.
Oh yeah,
that was a big.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's a huge Kiss fan, and us Kiss fans all know that, because he was on that the Kiss My Ass record, and got to do it on Leno with Kiss.
That's right. I do remember that. But apparently he liked the Sunset Strip bands too. Like he was into Poison and Motley and all that era stuff.
Well, that doesn't shock me looking at his stage show. You didn't see stage shows like that in country music before Garth.
No. He was the Poison of that culture, the country music culture. Yep. The whole check your brain at the door. You're gonna come in here, you're gonna laugh, cry, smile, dance, sing. He started that in country.
Yeah, absolutely. First half of the show brought to you by Beater Amplification. You can see that beautiful beater head right behind me. 3 channels, 100 watts of testicular fortitude, hand-wired, hand-built. Pull 2 tubes, you got yourself a 50. Oh, you get your old school Kiss tone, old school Metallica tone, and that old school clean Fender tone right in that beater head. They are fucking badass. Hit them up on Facebook, Beater Amplification. And yes, the Izzy Presley TCB1 will be available hopefully this summer. I might be able to actually have my signature head. Possibly. Hit them up, beateramplification.com. And our good friends over at Mackie want to get into home recording, podcasting. They've got these great home studios they're called the studio bundles. They are very, very affordable, a very affordable way to get into it. Good friends over at Mackie, the MACKIE. Hit them up on Facebook as well. They do a lot of great stuff on Facebook, showing people how to use the stuff and how to record at home and how to use these great this great stuff that they have. Hit them up, Mackie.com. Back to Garth, because we can sit and talk fucking Garth for an hour too. He's that good. Do you understand the hate? Do you get the hate? Is it because he got so popular so fast? Do you think that's why there was such a negative turn on him in Nashville?
No,
because you can you can talk about the music all you want, but he's a full blown straight ahead. I'm a George Strait wannabe.
Well, this is going to sound music business conspiratorial, but I know it's true. When you get big enough to call your own shots and tell the companies that you're not going digital, when you get big enough to say you're not doing this, you are doing that, they'll turn on you. So you'll go buy the other record from the other guy, and they'll put all these stories out that, was Garth doing this? Was it, at the end of the day, Garth, to me, wanted to take a break. How much bigger could he have gotten?
Right.
And to go be a dad, which is, it just completely falls in line with what we think about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I dig him. You know, I actually, he had a song with Lee Bryce, who I know, and can't remember the name of it, but he still holds up. The guy's still incredible.
Yeah. What do you? Here's a good one. Stacy Kelly checking in the chat room. Just talk about Chris
Stacey.
Gaines. What do you think of what do you think of the Chris Gaines record?
I loved it. I thought that was like him dipping his toe into being a real artist. Because, you know, let's face it, you know, you get into an artist, and if they stay in the same lane, that's why I love Kiss. They had like eras of artistry, whether or not some people consider it artistry or not. And Garth went out on a limb, and he goes, I want to create this record. My only problem is they should have made the movie.
I agree. But to me, it sounded like a Wallflowers record.
Yeah, 100%. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Paul Gargano checking in. He goes, I just missed 15 minutes of the podcast trying to create an account to make wise ass comments. Can you start over? He goes, hey, this is Paul from Canada, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like people listen from anywhere other than Canada, even though he's checking in from he's right across town in beautiful Los Angeles, California.
What's up, Paul? Paul wrote about one of my very first bands in Rock on the Rise in 1997 in Metal Edge. So.
Really?
Yeah. He probably has no idea who I am, but I was in a band called Lunatic Candy Creek, which was a little high school Marilyn Manson wannabe band.
Okay. And
he stuck us on rock. He put us in Rock on the Rise, and that was, to me, still one of my coolest moments as a musician, was getting to be in there. So what's up, Paul? Hope you well.
How did you make the transition from that into country?
Well, I did a ton of stuff in my 20s, including the Wednesday 13 project, the acoustic stuff. Mm-hmm. I grew up living in country, and I grew up as southern as it gets. So when I was a kid, I didn't really care about it. I wanted the big fireworks, the pyro, and the spitting blood, the cartoon characters, even, you know, Kiss, the Jackson 5, Little Richard, anybody was kind of like over the top, Queen, Sweet, all those bands. I loved all of them. And then as I got a little older, after I left the Wednesday band, just because, you know, there was an era at the end of that band where if I didn't leave, I probably wouldn't even be here. Not in a bad way. It was just it was the last era of wildness in that crazy industry. But we still remain great friends. But when I left that band, I wanted to do something fun, and I was like experimenting with country and the storytelling aspect and the stuff I'd learned about writing songs, and but at the same time I wanted it to be honest. I'm like, let me see if I can backdoor some Sunset Strip. I want to backdoor this Sunset Strip sound and see if I can make it work in country. And that was 10 years ago. We did the first record at Matt Thorne's studio over in Burbank with Mike Raphael from Jailhouse. Frank Wiltsey from the Sea Hags played on it. Matt Thorne from, everybody knows Matt from Rough Cut, and Stephen Piercy's band, he played on it. Dog Boy from Nelson played on it. So I feel like I came to the right place and got the right sound. And you know, during our shows, if you watch our videos, we had fire breathers, we had girls on kegs blowing sparks off the titanium and doing the whole thing. So I was trying to bring back that early Garth over the top country music thing. But if you listen to the lyrics into the original Early Ray songs, I name drop a lot of 80s glam references, like Welcome to the Jungle, Go Big or Go Home has an AC/DC reference. There's a couple of Poison references. There's a Jackal reference in there. Only the 80s fans kind of pick it out and get it. But yeah, that's how I got the country. I just was like, let me give this a shot, you know, just like Garth doing Chris Gaines. Why not? Columbus took a chance. Why can't I?
Exactly. Right? Oh God, Paul checking in the chat room again. He actually typed us before you said it. He says Lunatic Candy Creep, and he goes, I totally remember that. What's up, Rayen? So see,
what's up, Paul?
Yeah, see, he does remember.
Paul's brother is a big football fan as well. He's a Connecticut fan, and I'm a South Carolina Gamecock guy. And so we talk a little bit of trash during the season, but it's really about who's doing worse. So if Andrew, if you're watching this as well, shout out to you, Andrew.
That's awesome. Well, here, let's do this. Let's take a short break, get a chance to throw a whiz, and we'll come back and we'll get into the new Early Ray that you're kind of making a splash with right now. You had the beautiful Bobby Brown in the video, that great cover of Cherry Pie, which is called Apple Pie, and it is fucking great. So we'll be right back with Rayen Belchere from Early Ray. It is another fucking podcast. And bam! Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
All right, we are back. The second half of the show brought to you by A&P Laser Engraving, everybody. Great folks up there. They are the ones behind the Roadie packs, which are available in packages with the brand new t-shirt. Just check out I'm not going to go through that whole goddamn thing again. You can just go to the Facebook page and see it and order one and get one of these Roadie packs. These guys are so good they can even laser engrave a hot dog bun. That is how great they are. And also, John Palumbo. We love us some John Palumbo over here. God damn. It's Dr. Pepper cream soda. That's what's fucking killing me. You get me a little gassy. Our good friend, John Palumbo over at John Palumbo Design. You have a band, you have a business, you need a website made, you need a logo, you need anything done graphically. Hit up our good friend, John Palumbo, johnpalumbodesign.com. All right, we are back with Rayen Belchere of Early Ray. I always want to say Earl Ray. I was making that mistake up until a day before you came on the show.
It's all right.
Last time.
It's all right.
And I apologize.
It's all right.
How did the apple pie cover come about? Was it something you had been thinking about for a while? Was it an idea from somebody from Wisconsin?
Yes, kinda. Sort of close-ish. About 4 years ago, I'd say 3-4 years ago, Stevie Rochelle, who I'm sure most of your viewers know, and I became buddies when I played bass for Wednesday 13, and we played a show at the Whiskey. Well, Wednesday came out publicly, said he was a Tough fan, and so Stevie came down to say hello, and they were buddies because of that. Well, Wednesday and I actually met at a Tough show when we were like 15, so it goes deep. But God, I'm getting off track here. But anyway, so Stevie and I remained buddies. We would talk about football during football season. He got me into UFC, and it was just kind of cool being buddies with the guy. And about 3 or 4 years ago, he says, "Hey man, I think this song might be good for your band. What do you think about it?" He sent it to me, and Billy Morris from he played in Warrant later and in Janie's band after that. Mm-hmm. He spearheaded the idea. He sent it to Stevie, who happened to be friends, in my opinion, with the one guy with the credibility on the Sunset Strip and country music that could pull off the song. You know, and people who argue that, I tell them to go listen to the Motley Crue tribute and then listen to my song and tell me which one got it more.
Right.
But he hit me up, but they wanted a bigger artist to do it, and I understood that. And I told Stevie, I said, I'll just wait on it because nobody's going to get it. Nobody did get it. And
Right.
Stevie got it. I got it. And I called him in January because my drummer in Early Ray plays in Hootie and the Blowfish. He plays percussion.
Oh,
named Gary
wow.
Green.
Kick ass.
Yeah, and my bass player plays with the Indigo Girls. He's a talented guy, and our violin player, she's badass. Everybody at the beginning of the year says, let's do something new this year. So I called Stevie and said, hey, is that song still around? Who did that? And he's like, I don't know. He calls Billy, calls him back. He goes, dude, I'm going to hook you guys up. He said he'd love you. It was just sitting on a hard drive somewhere in Nashville. Nobody was doing anything with it.
Oh, wow.
And I was flying to LA because I was singing the national anthem at C.C. Fletcher's Iron Wars, which is a thing in Long Beach every year. And when he hooked me up with Billy, I was happy to go in there, and I was like, so I hit Matt up. I was like, can you cut a vocal? And Matt was like, yeah. So we cut the vocal. And last October when I got married, the guys at the Rainbow as a gift hung my photo up at the Rainbow, and along with that comes these little traditional courtesies. And so I called my buddy Anthony over there, and I was like, hey, can I shoot tomorrow? Is that a real thing? Can I use? And he was like, let me check. He come right back. He goes, yeah, dude, be here at 12. So the original idea was just to shoot some stuff at the Rainbow to tie it in. And then Stevie came over the top and was like, what if we get Bobby Brown in it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, right? I mean, but you know, they're buddies, and it was a situation where I was fortunate to know him, and he knew her because she would have thought I was a lunatic. But she came, showed up, was total pro, and by the end of the shoot, we became friendly and nothing but, you know, love for Bobby. She totally was the cherry on top. And, you know, my friend Stacy, who I think is watching, had the best quote about the video. It said, when Bobby winks, time goes in reverse.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, that's the idea. And even if you hate it, if you want to pull out Warrant Records just to show me how bad my version is, even better. Go listen to Warrant. The idea is to pay tribute to Janie, not to try to recreate and do anything. I was really excited to do it. Like I said, the very first band I ever saw when I was a kid was Warrant opening for Poison. So there's a long history we could get into, like maybe on a later podcast. There's some like crazy.
Oh, we've got time. We've got fucking time, man.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we had like 6 minutes.
No, God, no.
Is Paul still watching? Because he may remember this because he shared an office with this guy. So we did a showcase. Well, Mike Raphael from Jailhouse kind of took us on to produce us, and he got us hooked up with John Weekland, John Kolodner, the whole Portrait Records thing. So we did a showcase for attorneys, and then guy handed me a card, and it was Owen Sloan. I'm a 21-year-old kid. I'm like, that's who rep Warrant. And he goes, yeah, I rep Warrant. I said, you got the gig. And so then we did a showcase for managers at the Viper Room, and afterwards we were interviewing them at the Rainbow. And I walk up to a guy who's sitting there with two other guys, and he goes, you're a good songwriter, you're a good performer. I hear you working with this guy. You might have something lined up with the portrait deal, all this stuff. He goes, what do I have to do to get you? I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. You're a great writer. He goes, who do you want to work with? Who do you want to produce your record? Who do you want to do something else? I said, you know, I do like to write songs. And at the time, glam was kind of a bad word on the strip.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. And I looked right at him. I said, I don't know if you've ever heard of this dude, but there's a guy in the 80s band called Warrant named Jani Lane, who I think is a fantastic writer. I've even stood up like the savage he is, which I love the guy, looked at all the other managers and says, go home. He belongs to us now. He sat down, he goes, what? He goes, he calls Janie right then, and the next day I'm at Sound Arena writing some tunes with him. So, and that guy's Avi Steinman. Avi Steinman.
That's fucking
and
amazing.
Paul shared an office with those guys at STC Entertainment. Scott, Jamie, and Avi had an office. God, it was attached to a pawn shop. But I walk in, I see Paul to the left. I'm like, holy shit, Metal Edge is here. This is exactly where I need to be. This is my spot.
Yeah,
you know? So,
dude, it's funny because Paul just commented, I am here, Obi Steinman. We shared an office on Sepulveda Boulevard.
Yep, there you go. So, and Paul actually did a photo shoot on us, and we were lining up to do a bunch of stuff in our SIR studio Sunset debut for the label, and everything was Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
Oh no!
We woke up to that news in an extended stay America hotel. Mike Raphael can confirm that. And we just got sent home, which is, I guess, a blessing in some ways because I still have good relationships with these people. We never had a chance to really work together and hate each other. So I still have a lot of love. I still have a lot of love for all those guys.
Well, I saw you. I saw you mention on another podcast that you do have songs that you have written with Jani that are still sitting on the shelf. Is there plans to do anything with these songs, or what's the idea for them?
Well, kudos to Sleaze Rocks because that guy knows how to write a headline. Because it's never been a secret that I wrote songs with Jani.
Right.
I have three songs. I have one actually demoed and two others sitting in books with charted out melodies and stuff.
Gotcha.
And the guy on the podcast was like, "Did you guys actually write songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, we wrote." I had like three, and I'd never thought about releasing them because it was more like I got to study with somebody I considered a master.
Right.
And I don't think it would be right to release them right now. It would feel opportunistic. And my whole point of doing this whole thing was to pay tribute to the guy. So
right. Well, you know what you could do though? You could do something special with it and do a 45 and record one of those songs and have it on the B side of the 45 as a tip of the hat to Jani both ways.
Stevie, if you're watching that, I think that's pretty genius. We should get on that, by the way. I want to take that idea. Is that okay?
No, please. I mean, that's why I gave it to you. I mean, you've got this great material from somebody who's unfortunately not with us, tragically not with us. One of the greatest. And and Paul was on it. We did a fucking Warrant Drunken Summit not even a month ago. And talking about how great Jani was and what the most underrated fucking guy from that fucking era gets so much shit because he was in Warrant. Fuck that shit. Jani could sing like a motherfucker. He could write like a motherfucker. He outplayed almost everybody from that fucking era, and you shit on him because of Cherry Pie. Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison.
That's what we're trying to do. We want to give that whole thing a happy ending, and I think a lot of people are feeling good about the era, remembering the good times, because Warrant, we all know it kind of had a dark kind of past, and those guys have did their best, and this is much as a tribute to the Warrant guys as it is Jani, in my opinion, because like I said, Joey threw a guitar pick at me. I still have it somewhere over here. I showed it on a podcast last time. Let's see, it's over here. When I was a kid, when I was like 11th, 12th row back, and Joey knew how to throw a guitar pick, as all the masterful guitar players did.
Right.
And God, I gotta pull it out. Still have it right here.
Nice.
Joey Allen. Yeah, and I put it next to his rock card I collected when I was a kid. So, the thing is when we put this out up front, people were like, "Who the fuck's this country ridiculous dude doing this song, and why is Stevie backing him?" And I think once people hear the story, they realize like, hey, it might not be for me, but this guy's doing it for, it's a legit tribute to the guy.
Yeah,
it's not trying to, and Billy, who was one of his best buddies, is actually spearheaded it. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. That it's so fucking killer. And I'm so happy that it came out. Jamie, I was I went and had lunch with Stevie. God, it was about a month ago, and he's like, dude, you got to hear this. And he kind of told me the story behind it and how, he told me some of the artists that they were thinking for it. And then he showed me the video. I'm like, dude, this is fucking killer. This is great. I fucking love this. At first you're like, oh my God. Okay. All right. This is going to be cheesy, but I'll fucking listen to it. And then you listen, it's like, this is really fucking good. It fits. The rewrite was written very well, and the playing's fucking phenomenal, and it's great, man. I love it. I fucking love it.
Well, speaking of real quick, so Stevie doesn't choke me, go buy the CD. It's out on Amazon, eBay, Big Cartel. Go to Metal Sludge. Go to Stevie's page. We have hard copies of the CD. And actually, I tell a story about when I first met Jani at NAMM. And I tell the story. There's the photos right here. So you guys pick it up, support the things you like.
Yeah,
and
please do.
If it's not for you, I implore you, pull out a Warrant record, because when I hear the hate, right, I get some of the. I was on a podcast a couple of nights ago, in the live stream, somebody just totally dogged it, and I get it, because they're kind of, you can't. hate something you don't love. Otherwise, you would just be indifferent. You just be
Right.
like, yeah, who cares? So to me, that's just him standing up for what he likes. And I get it. You know, somebody kind of took a liberty, which was Billy. And then here comes a guy who has the fucking nerve to get the Rainbow and Bobby Brown and all these Sunset Strip guys involved.
Yep.
And then the cherry on top of it, Bobby being on it. And then even more than that, Stevie, who has his own fan club, get
Yep.
behind it. A lot of people were like, I got to check this out.
Yep. And his own hate club as well. But look,
I don't know if you see the
go ahead.
no, I was just joking. I said, I don't know if you. I don't look at it as much, but the sludge board before the video came out, I probably still am. I was getting crushed.
Of course,
like,
of course. Well, I'm sure you expected it though too.
100%, and I loved it. Me and Stevie would call each other. There was a guy who goes, I never actually was worried about Stevie's mental health until now. And I was just like, that's my favorite quote.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Dude, I mean, think about it. Think about it.
We would
call
each other.
Sorry. Oh yeah, think
No, I
about
was
it.
just saying we would call each other. We'd have a laugh. We would just have a laugh at it.
Of course. I mean, that's what it's like. Being the wrestling rubes that we are, dude.
Right.
It's like any hate is to be expected, no matter, you know, if you're a heel or a fucking face, a baby face, you know. And it's like you have that chance, and Stevie really plays it well. He plays that fucking Flair role great. He plays that heel role fucking phenomenal. And you kind of talk about that and how well that works. Hold on, I'm gonna get something.
All right, go for it. So Stevie and I are kind of cut from the same tree, and he was in Decline of Western Civilization. So as far as I'm concerned, anything he says is gold. Any of those guys in that movie, which could come back to haunt me. I don't know.
Well,
but
look,
you got the clutch Shawn Michaels belt.
That's right, and you got Ric Flair's big gold belt right behind you too. But look, this is the thing that people forget. Anybody that pays tribute to that era, no matter what type of music they're into, we do it because we're a fan. We do it out of respect. We do it because we love it. We don't do it because we hate it. You're not making fun of fucking Cherry Pie. You did a great fucking cover of it.
No. Thank you. And you know, I wanted to handle the sensitivity of the Sunset Strip, the Bobby Brown cameo. Like, I had people actually write me like, why didn't you have her in the bathing suit and stuff? I'm like, dude, you don't get it. Like,
right.
But it's okay if you don't get it. I'm not upset about it, but I wanted to kind of combine the two. But to circle back Pulp Fiction style, I'm sorry, Anya. Avi didn't just hook me up with Jani. Within like a month, I was writing at Donnie V's house. I was with Rick Steyer from Kingdom Come's house. I was with Chips Enough. God, who was the guy? He was a drummer. Jamie Talbot representative. He played the Zach Wilde's band for a little while. Worked with him one day. It's like
the guy that was in Warrant. The guy that was in Warrant.
No,
the guy that was in White Lion.
No, it wasn't.
No, that was the bass player. No, that was the bass player. The bass player from White Lion was in BLS, yeah.
But from the moment I talked to him at the Rainbow till the next day, I have unreleased songs with all those guys, except for Chip. I released it on my first solo record. So yeah, it's not some secret.
Look, brothers and sisters, it's all about the trim and cocaine, okay? Dude, I can do Sebastian. I can do Sebastian. But look, brothers and sisters, I just love doing Chips Enough, okay? Like, we go way back. I knew him way back in the day in Chicago. You know, it's all about the trim and cocaine. I love Chip.
You could do Jericho doing Sebastian. You got to do the Remember Yesterday, walking hand in hand. And I love Jericho. So if you're watching, shout out to you, Jericho. But that was pretty funny because he was like measured on it. He's like, I'm hitting this note. You know, he was crushing them. But your Sebastian, if I was in the Rainbow and I heard your voice, I would think he was there. That was pretty fun.
Well, dude, thank you. Oh my God, not Paul. Where the fuck did that? Bruce checking in from Canada. Where did that go? He goes, B-side of a 45. What is this ancient recording device you speak of? Well, he gets a. Paul says Brian Tishy.
Wait
Was
till
it
hears
Brian?
about these guys.
Yeah, right. Was it? Oh, nice. The 8-tracks. You know, Cheap Trick released an 8-track a few years ago just so they could have the number one
No.
selling 8-track for the year.
I had no idea. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a big Cheap Trick fan.
Oh, dude, how can you not be? Paul says, screw the haters. They're the same people that would kiss your ass to your face. But what do I know? I only got my VH1 gig because of my hair.
Paul does have good hair. He does have good hair. I'm not
Yes,
going to
he
hate on
absolutely does. There was when I was researching him a little bit, I found this message board and oh yeah, Paul from fucking VH1, he only got that gig because of his fucking cool hair or something like that. It was hilarious.
Well, here's the thing with Paul. He is like me. He shows pictures of like he had a term paper or something in college where he had all the dudes sign it where he was like went into metal. So he was the most qualified guy to take that torch, and he took it for a long way. But he knows this stuff too, 100%. And he's got great hair. So Paul, send me the shampoo you use. I got to get on it.
Well, he's also got the beard now too. You know, he's got the quarantine beard, so he looks like Ringo Starr in the movie Caveman. I mean, he literally does. He literally does. Dude, speaking of movies and geeky stuff, I do want to get into this. We kind of touched on the Kiss podcast a little bit, but you've got a Instagram called what? Nerd Locations?
Yeah, I have a obsession with I wouldn't say obsession. I lived in Los Angeles a long time. One time at Parkview Apartments in Reseda, one time on Barrington in West Los Angeles, and last time I lived there for 2 years at 7950 West Sunset across from the Laugh Factory.
Oh wow.
LA, if you're watching this, LA is expensive. So developing a cheap hobby like taking pictures of buildings that were in your favorite movies is very advisable. I advise that hobby more than any other hobby you could get into in LA because it's not going to cost you anything. And so it started. I was driving down the street over in where was it at? Eagle Rock, I think. I was driving down the street in Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie, and I saw Marcellus Wallace crossing the street, and I was like, damn, this was like so I pulled over and I Googled the address, and it was the street. So I came out and started taking photos. And it all kind of started from there, and I just document stuff and just same sort of thing. I pay tribute to pop culture because when I was a kid growing up in South Carolina, everything in the world was through my television because all I saw was just the South. Right. And so when Decline of Western Civilization, Metal Edge magazine, and Headbangers Ball, that was like the trifecta for me. And from that point forward, I'm like, I'm going to LA. But when I got to LA, this was in the mid to late 90s when the buildings weren't torn down like they are now. You can still recognize stuff. I was like, oh, that's the thing from that. That's Nakatomi Tower. It was just like, because I'd watched so much television.
Yep.
But yeah, if you guys want to follow my nerd adventures, it's just me taking pictures of pop culture stuff. It's called Nerd Locations, all one word on Instagram. And I invited you to a couple of groups because you do it too. I found out you take pictures of the Karate Kid. Yeah.
The Karate Kid. I found the star from oh God, what's the fucking name from Adventures of Ford Fairlane? Art Mooney, dummy.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like it's right outside the Capitol Records building. It's not.
It's not. No.
it's down Hollywood Boulevard, away from the shit show. It's just little shit like that I love finding, because I mean, who's gonna seek out the Art Mooney star? No.
And the thing is I've posted because I post so much stuff, and I try to keep it as PG rated as possible.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of teachers write me and say, I'm using your stuff as Friday afternoon. They have these little pop culture classes. I've had two teachers write me and say, they're like, hey, check it out this week on Nerd Locations. He went here and here and here and here. And they talk about like, oh, this is where this happened and this happened, because I think, growing up when I was a kid, we didn't know about any of that stuff. And it's just cool. It's just a hobby. And like I said, in LA, as expensive as LA is, it was the best hobby for the money.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. And it's one of those things on Christmas you have to do. You have to drive by the fucking Fox building and take a picture of Nakatomi Plaza. You know,
100%.
And yeah, I cheated on one of them because I was on the Universal lot. But I mean, how do you not take a picture of the fucking Lions Estates?
Dude, look, I got my hair on my arm. Yeah, when you sent me that, I was like, dude, you're in the club. That's Lions Estates. For those who don't know, the entrance to the neighborhood from Back to the Future.
Yep.
Izzy found the actual stone that was outside of the street. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it was cool. And then of course, you know, they've got the clock tower and that whole thing. You know, I did that little video in front of the clock tower. I think one of the funnest ones because I'm such a grease geek, you know, because I mean, Olivia was my first boner, was fucking Thunder Road.
Oh yeah, dude, you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
And if you've never seen Grease, it's the same fucking spot that was in Terminator 2 when they're driving down the, you know, that fucking
like
concrete gimmick. Yeah.
Bridge.
Well, yeah, it goes from 1st to 6th, I think is the
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the LA River, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? That thing?
Yeah.
Here's a little tip for you. I don't know if it's torn down. If you like Grease, the Rydell High, which I think is in Venice Beach, because I took photos there a couple of months ago. They're about to demo it at some point. It's basically empty. So if you want to take a trip down there and get some cool shots of the Grease locations, a lot of the locations as of March were still there.
Oh shit! Gives us something to do tomorrow.
You could just walk through. You could see the gates. And Britney Spears filmed "Oops, I Did It Again" there. I could see Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Dream Warriors had some of the filming there. I think it was Part 4.
Part 3.
Somebody correct me. Part 3. Okay, we're filmed there. Yeah. So, dude, if you get a chance, you dig that stuff, you should go out there. They already tore the football field down, which sucks because the bleachers from the Grease team, but the rest of the stuff is still there.
Yeah, and the mall that was in oh god, Mr. Hand, fucking Spicoli, Fast Times. Yep, that's been torn down.
Galleria.
Rebuilt. Yep, it's been torn down, but it was rebuilt, so it's in the same place. But like, you know, even the TV stuff, like the hospital from Scrubs is now condos.
Oh, dude, it breaks my heart to see how greed is turning a historic place like Hollywood into just condos and just throwaway tourism. Like, you know, the block that Melt Comics and Sunset Strip Tattoo and the liquor store and all that was in across the street from Toy. That thing's about to be leveled and be replaced. And that thing's been there since before Marilyn Monroe, you know? So it's just a lot of the history. So if you guys are into that stuff, take photos and one day you can impress your friends and be like, oh yeah, you can't get that picture because it doesn't exist. In LA, I love LA. I have LA tattooed on my arm. It's just, they're just destroying so much history and it's heartbreaking. I know. I've been fortunate to capture some of it. And as long as they leave the Roxy, the Rainbow, the Whiskey, Viper, and the Comedy Store alone, I'll be okay. I can still come back.
That Viper Room block is going to go away. And get turned into a hotel, but apparently they're going to open up the Viper Room inside the hotel. So we'll see.
They're going to rebuild it, or
yeah, they're going to rebuild it inside the hotel, is what I'm told. Whiskey and Rainbow for sure aren't going anywhere because they're now historical landmarks. So we're good. We're good. Thank God on that. Still.
Who do we petition to get the Comedy Store historical landmark status? Because that place.
I think it's in. I think it's in the process right now. I think. I've heard Paulie talk about it, so I think they're in the process right now. But yeah, that place can't go away. But who knows now, because fucking no place can open. So you know, how are they going to be able to stay open? So I don't know. We'll see. But it's just fucking sad. It's just sad. But hey, look at the bright side. At least you can drive through the South and see all the fucking places and Smokey and the Bandit.
Dude, I went to Cartersville, Georgia, and Covington, Georgia, and went to the Smokey and the Bandit. You remember in Smokey and the Bandit where it kind of panned away and there was like just a little city block behind it, the car, and you saw the Pontiac Firebird right there?
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that scene. It's pretty iconic. It was like a
Trans Am, by the way.
Or Trans Am, I'm sorry. I'm not a car guy. I have to say that up front. A lot of guys are. I'm just not. But I dug the car. But there's one shot that pulls away like directly to the left of the car. It's the only shot in the show. But he's parked right beside the location where they shot the first Leonard Skinner album cover. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Literally parked next door to the shop where Leonard Skinner was leaning against the brick walls. So I'm a nerd for that stuff.
Dude, that's fucking killer. Have you ever done the Smokey and the Bandit run? Atlanta to Texarkana and back?
No, I sort of with a couple of bands. We tried it, but we just couldn't make it work. But it that's a bucket list kind of thing.
Right,
that I would
right.
love to do.
Well, I know whenever I do get that 77 Black Trans Am Bandit style, it's the run you have to make. It absolutely is. Rayen, what else? Where can people find you? Where can pimp the record again? Pimp the nerd location stuff again.
Well, like I said, if you support rock, you still believe in the idea of CDs and collectibles. We have CDs for sale. It's directly from us to you.
It is full length, right?
Yeah,
it's not just a single. It's a full length. Okay, cool.
Yep, there's 12 tunes on it. The other tunes are the ones that like Frank Wiltsey played on from the Sea Hags, Matt Thorne produced, Mike Raphael played on, Dog Boy played on. So if you dig the rock of the 80s, you're gonna feel like you've already heard some of these players because you have.
Right.
But the CDs are on Amazon, eBay, Stevie Store under Early Ray, just like it sounds. My Facebook is just Early Ray, Instagram Early Ray, Twitter Early Ray. If you want to follow my pop culture stuff, it's a little nerdy, but go to nerdlocations.com. It's just a hobby, something I have fun with. I document some history. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you know what? I'm gonna throw one better at you. Are you in front of a computer?
Of course.
Type in JimCrockettPromotions.com.
Yes, you already did this to me the other night.
It goes to Early Ray.
I know, it's fucking brilliant. And there's another one that does too.
Paul Heyman guy. I
fucking love it. Well, here's what we're gonna do. I usually at this point I play my Black Diamond Live outro music from Kiss Animalize Live Uncensored, but I'm not gonna play that tonight. And I'm not gonna put it in the YouTube broadcast, but I'll put it on the actual this live broadcast. Should we play the song?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah, man, I love it. Woo! Rayen Belchere, Early Ray, buy the record. My name is Izzy Presley. Buy the new t-shirts and the new packages. They are fucking great. I already sold one $100 package already, so yeah, it's a start, baby. My name is Izzy Presley. Don't forget all the social media at Real Izzy Presley, all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, the show page is another effing podcast. See you next week. Don't forget, what I lack in talent, I make up for in cock.